Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol HMNY. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like a few weeks worth of time, it's actually just the past few days broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like you this time frame. I think it's a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price. And then just makes mapping out where levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. And in this situation, as I've talked about in the past, makes the trade setup very, very straightforward. And it's really as simple as this. And if you've watched the past videos, I don't really have anything new to say other than the fact that we're just getting more and more kind of evidence in the favor that, hey, maybe, just maybe, this is some sort of bottom here that with a bounce potentially brewing. But if this is the first video that you've watched, then let's keep in mind the overall context. And the overall context has been just a beatdown, a bloodbath, whatever you want to call it, just over and over again. The price, essentially, I don't want us to say going straight down, but pretty close to almost going straight down. However, all of a sudden now, over the past 3 days, the price has literally just started to go sideways. And I get it. Geez, Clay, that's setting the bar really low if you're calling sideways price action bullish. Well, again, keeping in mind the context of things, I think a lot of people would agree and understand the perspective of, yeah, actually the way this thing's been trading, sideways price action is actually relatively bullish. So that's going to be, the key kind of driver still of the big question. And as I've used in the past, the word logical question now of, hey, is this some sort of bottom? And, the price continues to go sideways. Volume today had a couple more pickups in it, but for the most part, volume is still low. And, low volume on this sideways price action suggests that, maybe the sellers are finally out there taking a break, and this thing is getting a chance to finally, rest and rebound. But as I alluded to in yesterday's video, the catch-22 to that is, okay, yeah, volume has really dropped off, but if there's going to be any sort of bounce, if there's going to be anything that's kind of organic and draws back in people, then there's going to be more solid. There's going to need to be a jump in volume, which is kind of the exact opposite of what's been occurring right now. And if you continue to follow this on social media and the message boards and such, yeah, it's starting to drop down. Popularity, the interest, the amount of people talking about it is starting to wane. I'm not saying that's a nail in the coffin or anything. I'm just saying that's kind of definitely the other side of this equation thing where, yeah, it's good that the volume has dropped off quite a bit, but if there is going to be any sort of bounce, volume needs to pick back up. So if there is any sort of bounce, as it stands right now, the purple line here continues to move down, that purple line being the 50-period moving average. So that would certainly be the initial area of resistance. But in my opinion right now, I don't think resistance levels really matter that much. The main thing that really matters to me is just the overall direction. So even if the price starts to grind its way up slowly, that's fine. But you got to keep an eye on volume and make sure volume doesn't drop off into oblivion, because if that's the case, then all it takes is one bored person, and one bored person that wants to finally just get out and hit the bid can create a cascade effect, and that's not what anybody wants. But as it stands right now, still very intriguing, still going sideways, so maybe a bounce is right around the corner. One of the biggest questions I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now, and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.